All right, here we go.
Okay, all right, let's do this.
Okay, so hi everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the series that I've been doing this year called 4 Questions. I'm so happy to have my student and madrich, Alec, with me today. Alec has been with Neshamah for, I don't know.
A while.
Quite a while.
Yeah, a long time.
What year was your bar mitzvah?
2020, I think it was 2020.
Okay,
Yeah.
during COVID.
It was during COVID, so there
Okay.
was no one in the synagogue, in the sanctuary. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Alec has been one of our amazing students and continues to come every week on Sundays to work with our younger students. I'm so grateful that you do that, Alec. It makes a big difference.
Thank you.
And part of the point of the series is just to get some conversation going about what Judaism means to us, especially to our young people. And you're going off to college soon.
Yes.
Congratulations on
Thank you so much.
Acceptance to Vanderbilt.
Yes.
It's really exciting.
Thank you.
And so the first question that I always ask is, tell us something that you find positive and meaningful about Judaism in your life.
Yeah. I think Judaism at its core is meant to give people the guidance to just be a good person.
Okay.
Right? It's inspiring kindness. The stories we tell, the traditions that we have, they're all to bring us together, whether that's within your family, within your community. There's a lot of like tzedakah and all the charitable giving. Judaism is about making the world a better place, tikkun olam, which is something that I definitely try to get out of Judaism. That's why I come here. That's why I stay connected, because it gives me the ability and a platform to make a difference and, try to make an impact in the community.
And you do that every week?
Yeah, I do that every week here with the students,
Yeah.
teaching them Hebrew and just helping out, being a role model.
And do you feel like, I'm sure you do other, amazing things in your life and school and volunteering and all that. Do you feel like there's anything about Judaism that feels like how is it different than just going to a homeless shelter and volunteering, or going to give tzedakah to a hospital? Like, is there anything about the Jewish aspect of it that means something to you?
I think because the people who do it all have that shared experience, that shared, whether that's ancestry or the shared belief or just shared community in a shared space. That's what ties you together, and you can be here in Neshamah and know that you automatically have something in common with everyone who's here. Okay. And that's what ties us together and makes us stronger when we're helping out.
I like that. And I think that's it's kind of a subtle point, because doing good always feels good. But I'm happy and I'm proud when our students see that, it's always any mitzvah is good anywhere, but there is automatically kind of a special connection that we have to each other. And like you said, that the core of it comes from something that we learn from our tradition. Right. It's not just trying to be a nice person or do good, but that we have this kind of mission as a Jewish people to do that. So I'm so proud of you that you see that. All right. And then question number 2 is, religion and institutional religion and rules, all that kind of get a bad name sometimes. And it's hard to, advocate for being religious in the world today. That's, so many good things happen, and you don't really need to go to church or synagogue. And Judaism, also is imperfect and has some things that are challenging. So I'm curious, in your experience, what are some things that you struggle with in terms of, Jewish not philosophy, but Jewish practice? Is there anything about Judaism that you're like, that part's not really for me?
Yeah, I think it's a little tough because we've been an established religion for thousands and thousands of years. A lot of what we learn about is from the distant past.
So old.
Which is cool in the ability that that's history. It's amazing that we've been able to continue this tradition, but also is a little antiquated. Is there some updating that it needs?
Okay.
And that's something that maybe is a new thing that's going on now with the digital age. I'm not sure, but being able to take those stories from thousands and thousands of years ago and transfer it into a modern light and think about it in that way. And I think that it's sort of up to the individual to take what we've learned from so far back and bring it into modern or have use for it in modern
modern
times.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's you pinpointed a very accurate challenge of any
Hmm.
religion, but especially Judaism that is
Yeah.
so old.
Hmm.
Like, why in the world would we keep kosher? That was written, so many years ago when maybe things weren't as clean, or people make that argument. So we have to dig a little bit deeper sometimes to find
Yeah.
some of the reasons for things. But yeah, I think, do you have any examples, or like, what comes to your mind about ways that Judaism has been able to do that in our modern world? Are there any things that you see, like, Shabbat becomes more of like a meditation and a quiet,
Hmm.
like, are there any pieces of Judaism that you in your life have been kind of rehab that feel relevant even though they're old?
Yeah. I think definitely the holidays,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's the high holidays, whether that's Hanukkah, whether
Mm-hmm.
that's Passover,
Mm-hmm.
and that, you know, a lot of times we live far away from our relatives
Mm-hmm.
or we don't get to see them as much
Mm-hmm.
because we have those holidays, and because there's one every few months, or
Basically
it's all, there's always one coming around the corner.
every
There's
month, yes,
there's
yes.
always something to look forward to with your
Mm-hmm.
family, and
Mm-hmm.
always, something to celebrate,
Okay.
which is something that's definitely, of course, still relevant
Yeah.
now, and being
So it
able
doesn't
to,
matter whether
yeah,
we're remembering the, rededication of a temple from 2,000 years ago,
right,
which is nice, but
hmm,
kind of the impetus to just be together because it's Hanukkah, or be together because it's
exactly,
Passover. I like that.
yeah,
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So question number 3 is, we have this concept of kind of religious versus spiritual. And it's a thing I talk
hmm,
about a lot at Neshamah, because a lot of people do say to me, I'm Jewish, but I'm not religious.
hmm,
And I always wonder, what does that mean? So you eat bagels, but you don't pray? Like, what exactly
yeah,
defines each of those? And I like to kind of listen to people about where, what those words mean. And then if you had to identify yourself, closer to one side or the other, how would you do that for yourself?
it's definitely a tough question.
Yeah.
I think that when we study Torah, or when we engage with the religion, I think that we there's a certain amount that is in belief, but also below the surface of that belief and believing, is this true? Is this something that I'm going to follow exactly? You need to think, why does this matter?
Okay.
And it matters because, for a lot of our stories and a lot of our traditions, because it's meant to, spread kindness or bring us
Mm-hmm.
closer together, or
Mm-hmm.
give us a sense of confidence that we can push through
Mm-hmm.
something
Difficult.
difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what religion is meant for. It's meant to give us guidance, not necessarily like strict rules. You must
Mm-hmm.
follow this, or else you're going to be in bad shape, or
Yeah. Yeah.
you're
Cursed bad Jew.
exactly. Yeah, it's meant for guidance, and I think that the best, or the people who get the most out of religion, are those who can, take a story and, internalize it,
Mm-hmm.
and pick what they like, pick what they don't like, and
Mm-hmm.
make it theirs. I
Amazing.
think it's something that's helpful to a lot of people. To You have the religion as a guideline, but you also have your personal
Right.
connection to it, and your
Mm-hmm.
personal beliefs that go along with it.
And do you feel confident that you've been educated in a way that your voice counts, like you can make your own decisions, and that it's not, a bad thing if you do something that's a little bit off the main line?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we all have different situations. We all have different, beliefs, different
Mm-hmm.
customs, different
Mm-hmm.
culture, and our traditions, how we practice, all fits into our lives, and
Mm-hmm.
we just make the best decisions for
For
ourselves.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I do think that's amazing that you have that perception, Alec, because a lot of people feel like, if they're not doing it perfectly, then just throw the whole thing out.
Hmm.
And that's been one of my, you know, like, we think sometimes we talk about Judaism as like this ladder, and we always have to get higher and
Right.
higher.
Mhm.
And I don't really love that. I don't like that image at all. I like much
Right.
more of like a cycle, like we're in different
Yeah.
seasons, and different
Hmm.
things work for us in different seasons. And also that some is better than none. I used to always say to my kids, when we're at Disney
Yeah.
World, we're going to keep kosher a little bit differently than we do at home, because
Hmm.
we want to go to Disney World, and food's not going to be exactly how we normally would do it at home, but we can compromise. And
Hmm.
keeping kosher is more about kind of being in that moment and saying, hey, we're not forgetting we're Jewish just because we're at Disney World,
Right.
but we're also not going to be so isolated that we're not going to go out in the real world.
Hmm.
And one of the things that I think gets kind of misconstrued in the modern world is that Judaism is going to break. We're going to break. If we don't do it exactly how it's been for thousands of years, it's going to break. And I have zero fear that Judaism is going to break. It's never broken. It's still here, and it actually gets stronger the more that we evolve and change and make it our own. So it's amazing that you see that. And I hope that, as you grow in your college years and begin to make, more and more adult decisions, that Judaism will be a base for you, but not limiting. That you can use it to bounce ideas off of, and that your voice does count. So,
I agree.
Yeah, amazing. I rambled there for a while. Sorry. We're going to delete all that. All right. So you've spoken really beautifully about what you find meaningful about Judaism, what you find challenging about Judaism, making it relevant for today, and kind of that spiritual versus religious, making Judaism our own and putting our own stamp on it. And then now the last question, number 4, is you get to ask me something which I don't promise to answer, at least right this minute. But shoot.
Okay. I like to ask, what specific thing about your career, your role as a rabbi, keeps you in this role, or keeps you coming back to Judaism and or being a part of this for so long and continuing with
25 years,
it?
actually 27 years. Thank you. That's a really thoughtful question. I would say for me, the bottom line is it's people. I didn't know I really was a people person, but apparently I am. I was kind of like a shy, quiet, bookish person all my life. But, Judaism gives me a way to be with people in meaningful ways. I'm not great at chit chat. I was horrible at like going to a kiddush and schmoozing with people. But I really like hearing people's real stories. I really like hearing what's going on in their lives. And everybody is kind of like, I think of it like there's their own Torah. People have the beautiful life story, and being able to be with people, obviously at important moments in their lives, weddings and funerals and bar mitzvahs and baby namings, that's like real life, you know? And I feel so privileged, actually. Who am I, a stranger coming into someone's funeral and they're mourning someone, but there's a role that I can play there that's comforting and helpful and can kind of be solid while they're not so solid. Same with the wedding, everybody's running around crazy, with a lot of different responsibilities and joy and family dynamics. And I can just kind of be the steady, guide there. That feels really good. So yeah, being a rabbi has allowed me to connect with people in a really meaningful way, that I feel like I have this incredible education about life. How often you get to talk to someone who, is 80, other than your own grandparents, or be with someone, at a grave or at a wedding or when a new baby's born, and just witness so much life that I feel like kind of a student of all of those experiences has really made my personal life so much richer, and just such a privilege. Truly.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It's definitely cool to be like with people at those highest moments, or those just most extreme moments, extreme emotional moments, and being able to see that and help them through that, or be there all the time. That's definitely
lots of times it's really, and we do this with each, with our friends and whatever too. A lot of life is really just kind of showing up, and we call it now like holding space, just like being present for what's going on. But our circles are pretty small. We don't get to see, hundreds of weddings or hundreds of funerals or that scale. And so there's just something really kind of magical about being with people and, just seeing how they live life. And I probably could write a book.
Maybe one day.
I probably won't, because I like, I don't know, doing other things more than writing.
We'll stick to videos for now.
Exactly. We're going to stick to videos. Exactly. But so many good things I've learned from people, and also that like Judaism is a vehicle for real connection. There are a lot, people can belong to a sports club or a social, whatever, boating club or whatever, but there is something very special about a Jewish community, like bond that we have with each other, like you said, and just kind of shared values and kind of like an automatic sense of caring. You know, we
Right.
automatically care about each other because we're in this community. We're not strangers, even if we don't know everybody's whole life story.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Thank you, Alec.
Yeah,
Really
of course.
appreciate your
Thank you for
presence.
having me.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. See you next time.